This is the research project proposal presentation for student number 10003703. My project is based on flexible working. Question 1, please.
Why have you chosen to base your research on this organisation?
I have chosen Fife Council's Homeless Assessment Team as my organisation because local authorities are generally the largest employer within most areas. Their policies and procedures are generally of a very high standard, and accessing these will be relatively easy for me as a member of my family works within the Homeless Assessment Team within Fife Council. Question 2.
Why are you researching this particular topic?
I have chosen the topic flexible working because flexible working has had a direct impact on my life already. It allowed my parents to both work and be able to provide and meet the needs of me and my siblings. Also, it may affect my future career if I decide to have a family of my own. Flexible working has become more popular recently due to families needing two incomes to accommodate for the rising cost of living. Also, the role of the women has changed. Fewer women are stay-at-home mothers and have to work to meet the needs of their families. This can often be the case within single-parent families, and flexible working allows families to do this. Question 3.
What are your main literature sources and how have you located and accessed these?
The main literature sources used to gather secondary data on my chosen topic were reliable internet sites, online journals. I accessed these through the UHI eJournal Gateway. Research Methods for Business Students by Mark Saunders, Philip Lewis and Adrian Thornhill was the main text used to gain a broader and better understanding of the methods and skills needed to carry out effective research. The only primary source that has been used up until this point is Fife Council's Flexible Working Policies, Procedures and Guidelines. This source has given me a better understanding of flexible working overall, as Fife Council are a very large organisation and their policies and procedures are of a high standards. These policies and procedures explain the various types of flexible working available to Fife Council employees. This includes flexi time and career breaks. Career breaks allow employees to take a longer period of time away from work. This can be up to 1 year. Question 4.
What is the overall aim of your proposal and why?
The overall aim of my proposal is to investigate and compare the types of flexible working available within the Homeless Assessment Team of Fife Council. I also want to understand the impacts flexible working has on the employer and the employee. The reasons for choosing to investigate flexible working was to gain a better understanding of how flexible working affects productivity within the workplace, but also how it benefits life out with work. Question 5, please.
What are the research questions you are setting out to answer?
The research questions I set out to answer are, and there are 4 of these. Question 1. What flexible working patterns are available to the Homeless Assessment Team within Fife Council? Question 2. How does flexible working impact on family life and your career? Question 3. What are the advantages and disadvantages of flexible working on Fife Council as an employer? And question 4. How does flexible working help fit out with work priorities around work? Question 6.
What methodologies are you using to conduct your research, including research approach, data collection, data presentation?
I will be using an inductive approach to carry out my research for my project. The reason for choosing this approach is to gain an in-depth understanding of the impacts flexible working has on the employees within Fife Council's Homeless Assessment Team and on Fife Council as an employer. Qualitative methods of research will be used to gather the primary research for this project. I will conduct in-depth one-to-one interviews with open questions. Open questions allows for discussion if necessary. The data from the interviews will be audio recorded where permission is given. I will then transcribe the data into a written account. Finally, the findings from my research will be collated into a written report. This will include conclusions and recommendations of relevant information regarding Fife Council's flexible working policies and procedures. Question 7.
Who are your research sample and how will you gain access?
My research sample are the homeless officers based at the Homes for Good Centre in Kirkcaldy. The homeless officers have already been made aware and have agreed to help me with my research. I will contact the homeless officers through email or telephone to make appointments for interviews at mutually convenient times at their place of work. Question 8.
Are there any ethical or special issues to be considered?
My research has no ethical or special issues to be considered. I will, however, take into consideration confidentiality and data protection. To do this, the interviews will be deleted from my recording device once I have collected the data needed. I will also make sure the identity of all interviews is kept anonymous. This ensures their privacy. Question 9.
What are you doing to ensure the validity of your research?
To ensure my research is valid, the homeless officers that I'll be interviewing must provide proof of their identity. Within Fife Council, all employees must at all times wear their identification badges. These badges contain photographic identification along with their name, their position and their department of work. I will also ensure all the policies, procedures and guidelines that I am using are current and up to date. I will ensure I access these only from the Human Resources Department within Fife Council. Question 10.
What do Fife Council anticipate will be gained through your research?
Fife Council hope to gain an insight into which types of flexible working their employees are benefiting from and why, and also the reasons for the choice of flexible working pattern they have chosen. Thank you for listening to my presentation.